Brutal Barracuda, a Sniper Elite channel.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So Rebellion has just released update 1.06 and it comes with a huge amount of fixes and some interesting changes. So I'm going to do a quick rundown of all the major changes and give you my thoughts, but you can find a link to the full patch notes in the description below. So first of all, I'm going to be talking about the changes to the main game. I will save the invasion mode changes, of which there are quite a few, until the end, because I will likely be having a bit of a rant. Okay, so first up, the dead zones on the controller analog sticks have been fixed. This was the most important change personally for me, so I'm glad that we've had that sorted. Small movements using the controller has been very tricky up until now, but I can confirm the dead zones are now much better, so that is awesome news. Rebellion have now added a Fov Slider, or Field of View slider, for PC players, which is another good addition. You can now set it anywhere from 60 degrees all the way up to 120 degrees. We are now able to remove the stealth outline around our character when hiding in long grass. This is good, but unfortunately this is only possible if playing on custom difficulty. When are we going to get Authentic Plus, Rebellion? The no-cross exclusive map Urban Ruins is now available in all game modes, albeit a nighttime version. So free-for-all, team deathmatch and squad match all get a new map. No-cross fans, on the other hand, will be left disappointed with still only 2 maps available. Most, if not all, of the objective bugs have been fixed, as well as the bugs that were preventing players from unlocking weapons via the kill target challenges. Now this will be a huge one for most people who have been unable to progress through the campaign, so it's fantastic to see that we can now play through the game without any game breaking bugs. So this next one surprised me. The trigger volume for mines has now been increased to ensure they activate in range regardless of human or vehicle targets. Now, I've not had a chance to test this, but it sounds to me like the radius for triggering a mine has been increased, which is crazy if that is the case. The telemines already blow up when you aren't particularly close, but now it looks like they will trigger from even further away. Okay, now just a few quick updates before we move on to the invasion update. The bug that slowed down movement when holding the flare gun has been corrected. They've fixed an issue with the AI getting stuck in that investigation loop. Players are no longer able to obtain the authentic achievement by changing the difficulty just before extracting. So before you could do the whole mission on very easy, and then right at the end before you extract you could change the difficulty to authentic and then extract, and then you'd get the game would think you did it on authentic. So that's all been changed, which is good. And grenades have now been fixed, so they no longer stick to your hand when you're trying to throw them, and they should just throw correctly. So, good news. Now on to the invasion mode changes. So I was super excited when I heard we were going to get an update for invasion mode, but what we got has left me a little disappointed, shall we say. But before we get started, I will put you all out of your misery right now. This patch does not include an option to invade friends, nor search to invade a particular difficulty. Now I know invasion mode desperately needs an option to allow us to invade friends. Everyone and their mother knows this, but I guess we're just going to have to wait a little bit longer. Fingers crossed it comes at all. So first up, the good points. Invaders can now pass through the enemy AI, so they will no longer block our path in doorways and narrow walkways. This is a fantastic change. Far too often the AI would block my path and it was super frustrating. So I'm very happy to see that that has been fixed. Next, the free camera on photo mode has been restricted to stop people using it to spot the other player during invasion, which is a very welcome change. So what people were able to do was open up photo mode during invasion, pan the camera up into the air and use it to try and spot the other player. So I'm glad to hear that this can no longer be done. Next up, there is now an option to remove the radar and the HUD when invading on authentic difficulty. So when invading on authentic difficulty, the allied sniper gets no HUD at all, but the invader still gets his. Well, now the invader has the option to set his HUD to the same as the allied player that he is invading, which is good, but personally I don't think it should be an option. I think it should just be set to the same as the allied player anyway. Rebellion have removed the bonus XP you get for simply having invasion mode enabled. Instead, you now receive bonus XP for killing invading players. I think they did this because people would turn on invasion mode just to receive the bonus XP with no intention of ever playing invasion. Then when a player does invade, they would simply kick them. So that's a good change, although it seems kind of pointless now as the update also disables the ability for the host to kick the invader. So this is a fantastic change. Well done, Rebellion. Far too many people getting kicked. So it's nice to see this problem getting fixed. There will now be a cooldown on how often you can be invaded. This was supposed to be implemented from launch but wasn't, so you shouldn't be getting invaded 10 seconds after killing the invader now. Although it's worth noting that you are able to be invaded more frequently on the later levels than you are on the earlier levels. Personally, I think an option in the settings that allows us to set our own cooldown would be good. I like to be invaded often, but if I'm playing the first few missions, this will no longer happen. I see why they've done it. Most people probably don't want to be invaded 10 times in a mission, but I think an option to change that if we like would be very welcome. And finally, the last good change is the invader can no longer hear when the allied player talks to themselves. So this was a big issue in Invasion, as the allied player would often give away their position. This only really ever applied to the Carl and Monica skins, as the other skins don't really talk anyway, but now it doesn't matter who you play as, the invader will not hear you talking. Hopefully we can still hear people using the invasion phones though. Okay, now on to what I consider to be the bad. So first up, Rebellion has decided to reduce the invader's equipment from 2 mines and 2 grenades down to 1 mine and 1 grenade. This is to make things harder for the invader. Personally, I think this is a terrible change. The invader already has the allied sniper's focus mode to deal with, which I feel is already incredibly OP. Many people don't quite understand how focus mode works during invasion, but those that do will likely agree with me. So now we are just down to 2 explosives, which I think is terrible. Why limit the invader's options? Trapping phones is basically never going to happen now because the equipment is so scarce. I won't be wasting my only telemine to bother rigging a phone. I was hoping for the ability to edit our equipment in the loadout, not restrict it further. Give us the whistle, give us the decoy, don't go removing stuff. But that is not the only nerf to the invader, because 2 of the invader's skills have now been swapped out. So instead of the enemy being tagged when they damage the invader with the triangulation skill, that has been replaced with cardio, a relatively useless skill in comparison, which basically stops your heart rate going through the roof when you're sprinting. Now this wouldn't bother me too much, but if the invader damages the allied player, the invader still gets tagged because the allied sniper has got his triangulation perk. The other skill that we used to have was Health Boost 1. The skill that gave us a 5th health segment has been swapped out for Speedy Recovery, which is useful if playing on very easy, but pretty useless if playing on Sniper Elite or Authentic difficulty. So the allied sniper now has 50% more health than the invader, which is just bad. The invader already only gets 1 medkit and 1 bandage as it is, compared to the allied sniper who essentially gets unlimited due to his searching bodies and pickups and, you know. If anything, it would have been nice if the invader could pick up items around the map. Keep the max capacity at 1, sure, for the bandages and medkits, but if we use the bandage and we find another, let us pick it up. And finally, the allied player can no longer be kicked for camping. And there will be more time before the camping timer starts. So it used to be 3 minutes before you get pinged for camping, but that timer apparently has been extended. But it would seem that the invader can still be kicked for camping, just not the allied sniper, which isn't particularly fair. So basically this invasion update has just been a huge nerf to the invader. Less equipment, less health, worse skills, all the while the allied sniper can now camp forever. And that's not to mention invading a co-op game. Although one thing I did notice that I don't think was in the patch notes is the allied sniper now has a 30-second cooldown on the invasion phones to help with the phone spamming. So that's really good. But playing against 2 players with less health and less equipment, I don't know. I'm just not that impressed with some of these changes they've made. I know Rebellion have said they're going to keep rebalancing invasion mode with future updates, and thank God, because these changes are just a nerf fest for the invader. Anyway, I guess time will tell. I'll still be playing a buttload of Invasion, but my ongoing hype for Invasion mode has been severely damaged by this update. But let's not forget Rebellion have done a ton of fixes to the main game, which is fantastic, and I'm very much looking forward to the next update to see how they mess up, change invasion mode again. Be sure to check the link in the description for the full patch notes, and let me know in the comments section what you think of this latest update. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a like, it really does help the channel to grow. This is a dedicated Sniper Elite channel, so hit the subscribe button to be kept up to date on all things Sniper Elite, and I will see you guys in the next video!
Brutal Barracuda, a Sniper Elite channel.